वन्दे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् रक्तशुक्लप्रभामिश्रम् अतर्क्यम् त्रैपुरम् अहः विशुद्धिज्ञानदेहाय त्रिवेदी दिव्यचक्षुषे श्रेयः प्राप्तिनिमित्ताय नमः सोमार्धधारिणे नमो यामिनीनाथ रेखालङ्कृत कुन्तलाम् भवानीं भवसन्तापनिर्वापण सुधानदीम्
सारस्वतसिद्धये विशुद्ध सर्वोद्भाविलसति वाच्यवाचकात्मा काश्मीरो जयति जगद्धितावतारः स श्रीमान् अभिनवगुप्तदेशिकेन्द्रः अमृतेश्वर्यम्बा समेत अमृतानन्दनाथ श्रीगुरुः सर्वकारणभूता शक्तिः.
The next verse, he gives out the reason for his composition of this Yakhya. He says, even though there are other Vrittis and commentaries, they are either incomplete in bringing out the true essence of what Ācārya Vasugupta actually taught. Therefore, I wish to compose this poetry in order to please my Guru Mandala. In sense, in order to do justice to the system per se. Okay, so that's what is it. Guru Amnaya Viganata. This is something that will really sing praises. Praises in the sense that since it will complement whatever the Upadeshas that have been handed over in the Sampradaya. So it is not going to deviate any at any point from the established notions within the Sampradaya. Okay. Okay. So now Acharya gives the kind of an background for how the Śiva Sūtra came into being. We all know the story. So, but from Acharya's point of view, why is it important to establish this? So, apart from story, this passage actually gives the Anubandha Catuṣṭaya that any Shastra will have to establish. Okay, so it has to give what is the subject matter, who is the Adhikārī, or who is it going to actually benefit, how is the entire system going to work, or how is that knowledge, the KT, knowledge transfer going to take place, and what is the prayojana, what is the purpose behind learning this particular Shastra. So this Anubandha Catuṣṭaya is given in this particular passage. Though not in a typical manner in which any other Shastra Grantha will have it, but all of that is hidden in this particular passage. Let's see that. Iha kaschit Shaktipāta-vasha unmishan Maheśvara bhakti atishayat anangīkrita adhara darśanastha Nāgabodhyādi Siddha deshanaha Śivārādhanā paraha Paramaśiva Nāna Yoginī Siddha Satsambardaya Pavitrita Hridaya Shri Mahadeva Girau Maheśvara Shriman Vasugupta Nama Guru Abhavat. Shriman Vasugupta Nama Guru Abhavat. That is the simple statement. There was a Guru by name Vasugupta, where in the Mahadevagiri. Okay, so that is the name of the place where he resided. So Shriman Mahadeva Girau Maheśvara. Now from here onwards, what qualifies Ācārya Vasugupta to be the promulgator of this entire system? So these are the qualities which made him, okay, see, in our Sampradaya, normally any knowledge transmission happens at three levels. One is at the divine level or the Divyogha level. Ogha means, we have come across this term earlier also. Ogha means a group. Okay. So there are three Oghas which we always speak about. Divyogha, Siddhoga, Manavoga. Divyogas are those who are at a divine realm. Okay. Siddhogas uh, are in between the two. That is, they interact with the people and at the same time they are at the divine. Manavogas are the human form. In sense, they are the humans, but they are the realized. See, at the level of realization, there is no difference between the three, because we don't believe in hierarchy of no Jivan Mukti. Jivan Mukta, whoever it is, wherever he is one and the same. Okay, but it is where they operate and how they transmit the knowledge. Based on that, we have these three levels. So, Mahadeva Giro, Maheśvara, Śrīman Vasugupta Nama Kuruhu Abhut. What are the other qualifications for Ācārya Vasugupta to have received this divine communion from Shiva himself? He says, number one, Śaktipāta-dīkṣā unmishad Maheśvara bhakti atiśaya. So, like we have already seen this many times. There are different paths to attain the true realization. Ours is clearly, that is the Agama Tantra Agama Sampradaya, is clearly something which is based on the Diksha. So, what we normally do is there is one Adikshitas and the Dikshitas. Okay, Adikshitas are, they don't have the obligation to undergo all these. So, it is only the Pauranika Marga is that. Okay, you can go to temple, you can do your vartas, you can chant your shlokas and all those things. It is all dependent completely on your own effort. So, it's a out and out Anavopaya level at which that marga operates. There also, what we say is you will ultimately have to come under the guidance of a Sadguru through the Diksha only to find the because someone who has lost the way needs to be told that this is the way back. Okay, without that, he may be able to come somewhere near the place to come and inquire. That's all. But otherwise, someone has to remind, okay, that this is your way back. So ours is clearly an Diksha mark. Diksha is the first and foremost qualification for anyone to even enter into this particular path. And Diksha is referred by the term Śaktipāta, because during the Diksha, the Śaktipāta automatically takes place. The Śaktipāta takes place at different, let's say, the stharas, as the Malini Vijayasthara speaks of. So, Tivrati Tivra, okay, that is the highest, wherein with that is something what we can call as the Shambhavapaya. Okay, it's like you really don't know, and immediately you have the moment the Guru even does a sankalpa, does not even have to do the mantrochara. Okay, he just makes the sankalpa and the Shishya is able to get the realization. So this happens during the Mahaveda Diksha. Okay, that is the highest form of the Diksha. All right. For that, the Shishya has to be of that level. The Guru has to be at that super duper. Okay. Only then that will happen. Otherwise, normally it is the mantra. Okay, the Tivra, the mantra, mandrati mantra. So there are the four. At least the mandrati mantra will also ensure that the Shaktipāta is there. But for the Shaktipāta to really give results, the sadhaka will have to do all his sadhanas. Okay. So, Shaktipāta does takes place only during Diksha. That is why we all have this very, very strong opinion of the Tantragama that the moment you get the Diksha from two aspects, Sat Sampradaya, Sadguru, it has to be in the proper transmission. It has to be from a proper Guru. Then the opportunity to do your sadhana and realize the Jivan Mukti, because Jivan Mukti is the highest, because you are able to experience it Okay, while we are experiencing the world also, that opportunity is given. But if it does not happen, till that prarabdha karma ceases. So till that prarabdha karma is there, he has to have the sharira. That charama kshana, that last moment for the dikshita, whoever he be, for that dikshita who has gone through the sadhana, who has come via the proper guru mandala and the sampradaya, in the charama kshana, the jnana will definitely, that is the Shaktipāta, will become manifest. And he will have the realization. Only thing he will not be able to experience Jivan. That is why we say Charame Janmani Yatha Shri Vidya Upasakaha Puru. If someone has become a Shri Vidya Upasaka, that is his Charama Janma. That is his last birth. So Shakti Pasha Vasha. So he should have got the Diksha. So this is the Adhikārī. Who is the Adhikārī for Śiva Sūtra? Okay. He should have got the Diksha. Okay, though he is talking only about Ācārya Vasugupta here, but why did Ācārya Vasugupta receive the transmission of knowledge? Because of these. Okay, so here it is applicable to the learner also. Next, Maheśvara Bhakti atiśaya. He should have the bhakti. He should have the devotion and faith in Maheśvara. And what is bhakti? Bhakti is also defined. There are the levels of bhakti. Okay, there is a saguna way. That is the apara. In the apara level, the bhakti is slightly different. At the para level, the bhakti is nothing but what to say, realization. But at the para level, bhakti is called as swaswarupa anusandhanam bhakti rityabhidiyate. Bhakti is swaswarupa anusandhanam. Doing or contemplating on one's own swarupa is bhakti. And what is our swarupa? Our swarupa is that we are all Paramaśiva. Okay, we are not different from Paramaśiva. So at the apara level, we have to be devoted to the Shiva Shastra and to Shiva, okay, and his agamas and whatever he has taught us. At the parapara level, we realize that he is not different from Guru and he is not different from the mantra, and that and my nature of or my essence is the same. Then at the para level, it is only what to say, it is only an experience. It is only vasanatmaka. So that is the second qualification, having the faith in Parashva. So Maheśvara Bhakti, there also he says it is atiśaya. One should have immense faith because see Ācārya will never use. We have already seen in Pratyabhijnana. No word will be simply be put without a proper reason. Okay, so there is a Dada Prayojana for every word that he uses in the Bhashya. Why atiśaya? In the Vaidika Sampradaya and the Tantrika Sampradaya, if you normally want to compare, there are so many aspects, at least the Kriya aspects, okay, which will look very unorthodox from the Vaidika point of view. From a if a Vaidika were to visualize or were to see the lifestyle of a proper Tantrika, he cannot approve it or he cannot accept or even digest the practices. Okay. And the whole world, most of it is under the influence of the Vaidika system only. Okay. It is under the Dvaita Bhava only. Vaidika Sampradaya is Dvaita Sampradaya. Let's be very clear about it. When we speak about that, let's exclude to some extent the Advaita section out of it. There also, I don't really bring them under the pure form of Advaita. Anyway, whatever. So they will always have this. No, they are under the influence of the Dvaita concept. They have this, can we say, Puritanism viewpoint. They have that point of view. They cannot see, they cannot adjust, and they cannot accept. So the Dushana of the Tantra and Agama are found in many of the Sampradaya texts there. To an extent, in the Brahma Sutra, Shankaracharya has clearly made his position clear that he does not accept Agama as an authority. Okay, he does not accept Agama as an authority. All right. So, so that is one. So, until unless you have an atiśaya, you have an exceptional faith, you will not be able to stick on to this market. People will initially tend to confuse. People will initially make shall I say, make fun or ridicule or things like that. So another reason for why this marga is kept secret. The word kula itself means in a closed group. Out of the many different meanings of the word kula, it means in a closed group, in a closed setup. Okay, so you should have that immense faith in order to overcome the external criticisms that you initially will face. I have seen that confusion even in people who have been in the marga for a very long time, and some very silly doubts they have. The fact is only because they are completely soaked in the traditional thing, and it's very difficult for them to come to terms with certain practices. Maheśvara Shakti atiśaya. Sorry, Bhakti atiśaya. So these are the two things. He should have Diksha, he should have the intense faith, implicit faith in the Shastra, in the Agama Shastra. Anangīkrita adhara darshanastha Nāgabodhyādi Siddha Deshana. Not only that, he was very clear that he is able to reject the other Shastras which are not establishing the truth as it should be. So he says, Anangīkrita, he has not accepted that Angikara. No, he has not accepted. Anangīkrita Adhara Darshana. So all the other darshanas, we have seen that they are able to reach only to a particular understanding. Okay, Charvakas are able to understand only up to the Sharira. Okay, the Bauddhas are able to understand only up to the Shunya. The Nayayikas are able to understand only up to the Buddhi. So these are, we have seen that in the Sutra of the Pratyavijñāna. Okay, so all these are Adhara Darshana, the Darshanas which are below the Shaiva Darshana. Because Shaiva Darshana is that which is able to speak about the 36. All the others are falling somewhere between the 33 to the first. First in the sense, the Prithvi. Okay. So they are all below. So if you follow any of the other darshanas, at max you can reach the levels which are far below the highest. Okay, so they are Adhara Darshana. So Adhara Darshana, the teachings of or teachings given in the lower Darshana. For example, Nāgabodhyādi Siddha Deshana. Nāgabodhi was a very, very influential Buddhist master who lived in Kashmir. See, Kashmir as a region uh, uh, was also a thriving place for the Bauddha Darshan. Okay, and many of the texts, whether it is Buddhist texts or even the other Shastric texts, it went out of India to China via Kashmir. During the 10th century, Kumarapala and others, they actually facilitated copying of the Shastric texts from Sanskrit into the various scripts of the Chinese and language, not script, the Chinese, and it went to China. So today we are able to retrieve many of the original texts in Sanskrit from the Chinese translation. So the Kashmir was the place from where this transmission happened. So it was a thriving ground for the Bauddha Darshana also, in which Nāgabodhi was one of the influential Buddhist master who lived before Ācārya Vasugupta. So that is why his name is specifically taken. Not that any specific criticism for Nāgabodhi's philosophy has been given by Ācārya Vasugupta. So we don't find any specific instances there. But it's just that most popular of the rival school is mentioned here. Okay. So Nāgabodhyādi Siddha Deshna. He's a Buddhist because he follows the Mahayana school of Buddhism. Okay. So they also have a lot of the Gukya Samaja, that is the Tantric. Next, Śiva Ārādhanā Paraha. He was always engaged in the Ārādhana of Shiva. Ārādhana is the synonym for Upasana. Okay. Only thing is that Ārādhana is physical come mental. Upasana is mental. Upasana is a manasika karma. Ārādhana is a combination of physical and the manasika. So, while performing, let us say, an upachara, let's say asana, okay, or padya, or arghya, or snana, along with that, if it is accompanied by the bhavana as to what asana is to a deity. It's not merely giving a place for a deity to come and sit. That is the physical part of it. But what is the bhavana that we have to entertain at the time of giving the asana? So if it is accompanied by that, it is called as an aradhana. When it is purely manasika, it is called as an upasana. Okay, so Shiva Ārādhana Paraha. So even when engaged in physical worship, his mind is is immersed in the bhava, in the contemplation. Paramaśvara Nāna Yoginī Siddha Satsampradaya Pavitrita Hridaya. Siddha Satsampradaya Pavitrita Hridaya. This is another qualification. Whose mind is cleansed, Pavitrita Hridaya, because of following the teachings of Sat Sampradaya, which is proper Sampradaya, and Siddha, and who has received his initiation from a Siddha. Siddha in the sense from a Satguru. Okay. So Siddha, Sat Sampradaya, Pavitrita Hridaya. Who are these Siddhas? Siddhas are not just the Yoginī Siddha, from the Yoginis and the Siddha. So the Sampradaya has come to us from both the that is from the Yoginis as well as from the Siddhas. The Yogini is specifically a term used to denote the female practitioners, and Siddha in this context is something that refers to the male practitioners. So Siddha, Yogini. So this path does not differentiate between the Siddha and the Yogi. Both are equally important. For that matter, many of the systems, especially the Krama and the Kula, they have come to us from the Yoginis. So it is Yogini. From the Yogini we have in the Manavogana. From the Yogini we have come to the other teachers. Okay. So Siddha, Yogini. And their qualification is that they have to be Paramaśvara. They belong to the Parameshvara Shaka. In the sense, they belong to the Agama Sampradaya. So Parameshvara, Nāna Yogini, Siddha, Sat Sampradaya. So the Sampradaya which is handed over by the Siddhas and the Yoginis who adhere to the Shaivagama path. And because of that, Pavitrita Hridaya. His mind is cleansed. Okay, so Pavitrita Hridaya. Until if he is already a perfect being, he does not require an upadesha. So you have to reach a level of maturity in order to receive the teaching. Okay, so it only shows that level of maturity. Okay, so Pavitrita Hridaya. Who is this? Sriman Vasugupta Nama Guru, who is Maheśvara, who later on, see, Maheśvara is a upadhi, is a title. Is a title given to the highest master. Okay, So we refer to Ācārya Vasugupta as Maheśvara Vasugupta. Okay, it's a title which you earn by virtue of your practice and your knowledge. So later on, he becomes Maheśvara. So Maheśvara, Śrīmān Vasugupta Nama Guru. Right? Kadācitcha asau, once. So, okay. So, what is here? The entire passage has given us about the Adhikārī Lakshana. Okay, who is an Adhikārī for receiving this message of or the teachings of Śiva Sūtra? The other three are still there. What is the Vishaya? What is the Prayojana? And what is the Sambandha? So that will come in the next section. Kadācitcha asau द्वैत दर्शन अधिवासित प्राये जीवलोके रहस्य संप्रदायः मा विच्छेदि इत्याशयतः अनुजिघृक्षापरेण परमशिवेन स्वप्ने अनुगृह्य उन्मिषित प्रतिभः कृतः. He was blessed by Parashiva. Okay, अनुगृह्य, the anugraha of Shiva, having received the anugraha, unmishita pratibha, his pratibha, his innate talent or his innate nature was unmishita, was reawakened. So he was able to recognize his true form or his true self because of the anugraha of Shiva. Okay, anugrihya unmishita pratibha kritaha. There are some other statements before. What is it? Why does Shiva decide to shower his anugraha on him? He says, Kadachit, once, asau, dvaita darshana adhivasita praye jivaloke. This world, which is under the influence of the dvaita darshanas, all the other shastric forms which are operating in the realm of duality, various forms of dualities. Okay, so dvaita darshana adhivasita praye jivaloke. In this jivaloka, which is adhivasita praya, which is infested in most parts by the dvaita darshana. Okay, rahasya sampradayo ma vichedi. But at the same time, this our system, which is a rahasya sampradaya, okay, a secret doctrine. Secret is not because we are holding something close to us, not to give out, but something that can be learned only as a form of a direct transmission. So that is why it is a rahasya. Okay. So what is between the guru and the shishya? It is only between the guru and the shishya. No one else can know that transaction. So it is a rahasya sampradaya. Ma vichedi, that should not be cut out. Okay, that should not be cut out. Cut out in the sense there should not be lack of practitioners. Okay, and people should know the true Siddhanta, which is as per the Sampradaya. So, ma vichedi iti anujighriksha parayana Paramashivena. So, in order to anujighriksha means anugrihitum ichha anujighriksha, a desire to bless. Okay, so anugrihitum ichha, with a desire to shower his anugraha. So anujighriksha parena Paramashivena, by Paramashiva, he was made to realize his essential self. Okay, unmishita pratibha kritaha. And how did he do it? He says, atra mahibhriti. On this mahibhrit is mountain. So on this mountain, mahati shila tale, on a huge boulder, mahati, on a large shilatala, on the boulder, rahasyam asti, there is a secret doctrine. Okay, rahasyam asti. Tat adhigamya, having understood that doctrine, anugraha yogyeshu prakashaya, give it to them, those who deserve. Okay, anugraha yogya. So they should have earned the qualification to receive this teaching. So anugraha yogyeshu prakashaya. Only to them you enlighten. So you enlighten those who deserve to be bestowed with this knowledge. So anugraha yogyeshu prakashaya iti. What is the Anubandha Catuṣṭaya's element from this? The Sambandha. What is the relationship between the taught and the person or the subject matter which is being taught? Okay, so the thing is that it has to be in the form of a direct transmission. It is pratipadya pratipadaka bhava sambandha. Okay, the sambandha is that it has to be established by the guru to the shishya. So textbook, Facebook, WhatsApp, okay, these are not the methods to learn the Shastra. So it has to be a direct transmission, okay, between the guru and shishya. That is why even Parashiva has to come in Swapna, and there has to be a form of a physical contact. That contact happens, can be anything. No, in this case, it is in the form of the Shilakala. Okay, but there has to be some physical transmission that has to take place. All right. So it is pratipadya pratipadaka bhava sambandha. So that is the sambandha which is the same. And what is the vishaya? The vishaya is, it is rahasya sampradaya. Okay, and which is of the advaita. So when he says dvaita darshana adivasita praye jiva loke rahasya sampradaya ma viccheti. So what is the vishaya? The vishaya is to show the unity, okay, of consciousness. He is going to make it very, very clear in the forthcoming lines also. But the hint for the Vishaya is also given. So Adhikārī has been stated, Sambandha has been stated, Vishaya has been stated. Now Prayojana has to come. All right. Prabuddhascha, so when he woke up, okay, from the dream, Prabuddhascha, so Anvishyan tam mahatim shilam. He went and looked for that boulder, that rock. Okay. Karasparshana matra parivartanataha. The moment he touched Karasparsha, when he touched it with his hand, parivartita, it turned and it revealed the Shastra. Okay, the Śiva Sūtras. So, Karasparsha matra parivartanataha samvādīkrita swapnām pratyakshīkritya. So he saw with his eyes what he had heard in his swapna. So samvādīkrita swapna. Whatever conversation he had with Shiva in his swapna, pratyakshīkritaha, he was able to see. Okay, so pratyakshīkritaha, pratyakshīkritya, imani Shiva Upaniṣad sangraha rūpāni Śiva Sūtrāni. So these Śiva Sūtras, which are Śiva Upaniṣad, they are the Upanishad. For that matter, I will say the term Upanishads are very, very apt and applicable to the agamas and the tantras. Upa, Ni, Sad. These are the three components of Upanishad. So Shiva Upanishad, I was telling, the reason is, what is Upanishad? You have to sit near the Guru and learn. Okay. And the learner has to know what question he is posing, and the speaker has to know in entirety whatever he is speaking. So all our tantras and agamas are in the form of conversation between Bhairava and Bhairavi. Both are in the form of Guru and Shishya. That is why the Shloka itself says Guru Shishya Padena. They assumed the form of Guru and Shishya. The Bhairava and Bhairavi, they conversed. Okay, why did Devi assume the Shishya Bhava? She knows everything. Shishya is to have the jignasa. So for that, it says, because others may not know what question to ask. So she asks on our behalf. That is why for us, it is through Shakti we will be able to recognize Shiva. Okay. So, so Upanishad is the right and most appropriate term which is applicable for the Tantra. So when we say that it is Shiva Upanishad, it is not like we are trying to appropriate a term from some other darshana and trying to make it our own. No, it is very much applicable and more apt in our context here. So Shiva Upanishad, Sangraha Rupa, and it is in a form of it's a gist of the entire Tantragama Siddhanta. Okay, otherwise where we will have time to go through all the 108 Shastras. Okay, so we don't have time for that. So we need a Sangraha. We need something to be given as an essence of all those teachings. So Sangraha Rupena Śiva Sūtrāni Tataha Samastata. He was able to get those Śiva Sūtras from that Mahati Shilatala, from that stone. Etani cha samyak adhigamya. He understood whatever is taught in these. Etani samyak adhigamya. Bhaṭṭa Kallaṭatyeshu sat shishyeshu prakashitavan. He learned and he taught. See, that is what is sampradaya, right? Sampradana. You have to give it. If everything is over with you, there is no sampradaya. The reason why we are able to get this is because our Sri Guru was gracious enough to give it to us, and he got it from his Sri Guru. So it is always it is give. Okay, and we are at the receiver level. So that is why it is sampradaya. So he not only learned, but he taught, and because it clearly said those who have to be or those who deserve the anugraha yogyeshu prakashaya. So here it says sat sishye. So the quality of Bhaṭṭa Kallaṭa that he is a sat shishya. Okay, he has all the required qualification to receive the knowledge from Ācārya Vasugupta. So sat shishyeshu Bhaṭṭa Kallaṭādyeshu Adi Shabda, the others whose names are not mentioned. Okay, Prakashitavan. So he revealed that Śiva Sūtra to them. Spandakārikā Sangrihitavan. Not only that, he also composed the Spandakārikā. See, regarding the authorship of Spandakārikā, there are two opinions. Some scholars like Ācārya Kṣemarāja, they opine that Vasugupta Acharya around he wrote the Spandakārikā and Bhaṭṭa Kallaṭa wrote the Vritti. There are some who say that no, it is Bhaṭṭa Kallaṭa who is the author of Spandakārikā itself. So there are two opinions. There is we cannot reach any surety about it. Okay, so Bhaṭṭa Kallaṭādyeshu prakashitavan Spandakārikā sangrihitavan. Tat paramparya praptani Spanda Sutrani asmabihi Spanda Nirṇaye samyak nirnitani. So he just is making a statement. Okay, so I have also written commentary for the Spanda Sutras by name Spanda Nirṇaya. Okay, he actually wrote two, Spanda Nirṇaya and I don't recall. We also did in one of the groups. Okay.
Sandoha.
Spanda Sandoha is on the first Karika, whereas Spanda Nirṇaya is on the entire text. Okay, so in the very first Karika, he will give the entire gist. Whereas Spanda Nirṇaya, each of the Karikas he explains. Okay. So Spanda Nirṇaye samyak nirnita. Śiva Sūtrāni tu nirniyante. Now I am going to give an explanation for the Śiva Sūtra. And what is the content of the Śiva Sūtra, or what is the uh, content of the first sutra? So this is the
Acharya,
Upodghāta for the first. So okay, so all the core have been covered, right? The Vishaya has been covered, the Adhikārī has been covered. Okay, the Prayojana is not very clearly established. Let me probably next class I will give you the exact Vakya for the Prayojana. It is there in the first sutra. Okay, but it has to be there in the introduction also.